All right, welcome to Review Time with Acid. So today we're going to be taking a look at three products that I recently purchased from Amazon. The first being this beautiful watercolor travel set. It is Schpirerr Farben watercolors, and it comes in this cute little carrying case. There is a mixing station in the lid as well as an interior portion. There are 12 different colors. These are pan sets, so they are going to need some activation. They also need to be removed from the wrappers. I did love all of the colors that I saw in this, and I was really excited to see if they were true to the box art and the swatches there on the top of the pans. I think you can fit at least two more pans in this set if you want to. I just used the 12 that came with it. This pan set does fit snugly in the palm of your hand. It will also fit in a small purse. There is a section in the middle if you want to put a sponge or maybe a very small watercolor brush or pencil and eraser. Um, there's not much room for anything else in there, but it definitely holds the paints firmly. I didn't have any problem with them turning over or moving around too much. It is a cute little watercolor set if you're a student or if you are an amateur like me and you just want to travel with your watercolor pen. This is the best option I think I've run across. The second item I'm going to be reviewing is this six-piece set, Mr. Pen brand watercolor paintbrushes. They have a tank that you can fill with water. They all have caps, and they all have different brush sizes. I will say the two bigger brushes, I could not keep the caps on them, so that's a negative point there. That kind of was a pain in the butt. Did come with a cute mustache sticker. So I also had some trouble getting the tank off. It was, you know, an opposite screw than what you would think, an opposite direction of what you would think. But I filled it with my handy dandy syringe there. Now it's got water in the tank. I'm trying to get it to come to the, you know, brush so I can actually use it. This is my first time using a watercolor brush with a tank, by the way. So please forgive me as I do not know what I'm doing. I was having a little trouble with the amount of water coming out. It was often more than I wanted to, but I think more practice with this type of brush, I'll get better maybe. So here are my very light swatches. I would say the paint colors are pretty close to what was on the box, and I do think they're very vibrant. And the third and last item we're going to be reviewing in this video is the Zebra Brush Pen. These are made in Japan. I've seen a lot of watercolor artists use them because they're waterproof. And so I was like, wow, a waterproof pen. Okay, cool. I've heard that before. But yeah, after watching a lot of people use it, I kind of decided I'm going to try this. They said it was affordable. I can get it on Amazon now. So I bought it. And you know what? I wasn't disappointed. I really loved it. The brush nib is firm enough that, you can get a point. But if you decide to push on it, it does give you that wonderful brush stroke. So it can be used as a fine liner, it can be used as a brush pen. I would not use it for filling in large areas, but it is good for outlining, cross-hatching, if you're doing manga and stuff like that. And this would probably be superb. But yeah, I definitely wanted to try the waterproof um, aspect of it. How waterproof is this pen actually? So you can see here I'm just kind of filling in the details, kind of seeing what I can do with the pen. 10 out of 10 on the pen. I definitely will buy many, many more in the future. This will probably be the only liner I use from now on. I'm just gonna, you know, get rid of all the other ones and just only use these from now on. Don't you just love it? It was also very pigmented. I probably mentioned that already, but it was very pigmented. I was worried about doing a wash over with the watercolor and it looking really grayed out because I've had that happen with a lot of, fine liners before. But honestly, it stood up the test, stood up to the test of the water. It wasn't grayed out when I painted over it, big swatches. Honestly, it was still pretty dark underneath. I did have to go over a few areas, but it wasn't like normally when I do watercolors, I have to reline the entire image, and that takes so much time. But anyway, enough about the pen. Let's talk more about the watercolors. So here I am taking them directly from the pans. So this is the color directly out of the pan once activated. I know we did it on the swatch, but I don't know. There's just something wholesome about a rainbow. I just rainbow hair. It's fantastic. So I'm patting a little bit of the water out. Like I said, I was having trouble. This is my first time using it with the amount of water coming out of the pen. I really didn't intend to use that much, but I'm so used to just using a cup full of water. This was a whole new world for me, and I was really having to, learn and struggle, which isn't necessarily a bad thing with art. Can't complain. Here I'm mixing some colors together. So I've mixed the color for the dress. I also mixed the skin tone. They were beautiful. Cannot complain. I really do love the vibrancy of the colors, and I love how they don't look super muddled whenever they dry. Some of the paints I've used in the past have looked really grayed out, really muddled when you mix them. These paints I did not have that issue with. I will definitely say they are bright. It is going to take some getting used to just because, they are in a smaller pan and I'm used to having them kind of spread out where I can use them. But honestly, I can't complain. So for the paints, 10 out of 10 as well. I love the carrying case. I love the size. I love the pigmentation. So I have, you're not going to see me saying anything bad about this paint set. You're not going to see me saying anything bad about the pen. The only thing I really kind of had an issue with, to be fair, was the Mr. Pen watercolor pen with a tank because I couldn't control the amount of water I wanted to come out. I'm too heavy-handed, I think, so I struggled with it. But that's not the pen's fault. That's my fault. You will see me add some details here in a second with a Sakura brand white gel pen, the jelly rolls. I keep these around just for whites on my watercolor and stuff like that, just because they make a really bright white. But other than that, I didn't use anything else besides a pencil on this painting. And so you can see, the colors they're really saturated. They look good together. I've run into a lot of watercolor paint sets that just the colors did not work together for some reason. These are pretty cohesive. Um, so when you get them all on the page together, they don't look muddled, they don't look strange. They all look good together. I will say for the paint pan, I believe it was like $25, $26 on Amazon. The zebra pen was like $4.75 for just a single pen. And then for the Mr. Pen watercolor paintbrush set, I paid $13 and some change. So it's a pretty affordable, kind of way to go about watercolor. And I can recommend, all three items. So if you're in the market, go ahead and pick these up.